So, welcome to today's stream. It's a Thursday, so as usual, we're running the Hyro stream. I'm seeing that we got 45 people right now, and people are joining 46, right? 47. Okay, so approximately 50 people, which is quite not bad for the starts, right? And today we will do some giveaways, but the colleagues from the Hyro told me that we will not do some questions, and it's not going to be about who is faster, but about those who are most engaging, right? So if you want to win a 10K challenge, just be a little bit engaging, right? So those who knows me a little bit, you know that I am not intraday. Yeah, we hear you. Good. Just one question. I got some music in the behind. I'm not sure if it is annoying or not. Let me know. Maybe I can turn it off. If not, maybe we can run it, right? So maybe I will make it a little bit quiet, right? I think that's all right now. Okay, so as said, I will show you what I'm seeing on the charts right now, and I'm super happy that Hyro is running the swing challenges because I'm a swing trader. I'm not definitely day trader, 5-minute scalper, and something like that, right? So, I'm too old to sit behind the charts for the whole day, right? I know the value of the time. So for me, swing trading is definitely that's where I feel comfortable, right? So we will look. We will not be looking at these. We will be looking at these. We will look at these coins, right? These perpetual contracts. The setups, what I'm looking for, how I'm analyzing it, and also you can send me some your request if you want to, right? So we will look to the USDT dominance, BTC, Ethereum, right? Solana, AAVE, SUI, Doge, Link, HBAR, right? If you got some coins which you want to look at, just let me know in the chats, and we will have time. I think we can analyze maybe some more coins. We will see, right? So again, welcome everyone, and let's start, right? So as usually, we're gonna start with the Bitcoin, right? That's the most important one in the crypto industry, of course, right? And I will give you, of course, my view, which is only my view, right? And obviously, it's not a financial advice, and this is how I am looking at the markets. And it's very possible that some of you might have a different opinion about the current situation, and this is normal. And that's what's beautiful on a trading, because we are all looking at the same charts, same candles, and we can have different opinions. That's perfect on the markets, right? And to be clear, there's no strategy which is better than other one, right? This is my approach. Someone is using different approaches, and there will be situations when your strategy will perform better than mine, right? But overall, it's anyway about a mindset and risk management. If you are experienced enough, you know that's what's most important, right? Okay, so this is Bitcoin, right? I'm using a little bit kind of, I don't want to call it like a smart money concept, right? All these things, but I'm using simply the order blocks, right? Supply demand levels, right? If I look at the Bitcoin from the monthly perspective, right? We can see that price has dipped lower in here, right? It was deep enough, right? As you can see, it did pull back 50%, right? 50%. If we go below 50%, it's deep enough to continue higher, right? Next thing, what I can see in here is this, right? We have closed, and I will actually use this one and this one, right? We have closed this monthly candle above this one, right? So Coin, we can check that. Right? So we have closed above this one. So what does it mean? It means that this is a created monthly order block, right? Also, this monthly candle is closing above this one. So per the rules, as I'm looking at the markets, the liquidity is higher, right? So, in my opinion, we still could go kind of higher, but it's the monthly, right? It does not mean that if I am bullish on the monthly, that I will open a long trade in here and wait until I hit this, right? I'm not gambler. I'm not James Wynn, right? If you know this guy, let me know in the chat if you heard about the story, what's going on right now. It's now popular on the Twitter. Okay, so we're getting quite a lot of coins. We will check them, guys, right? So it's bullish in my opinion, but as said, it's monthly. So what does it mean? It means that we still could get, hello Alberto. So we could get a pullback, right? In here, we got room for the pullback. So in my opinion, as I'm seeing it as a bullish on monthly on Bitcoin, I would be looking for some pullback right now because I think it's kind of a little bit overheated. And my rule is, if you probably seen some of my streams, my rules are never buy high, right? Never sell low, right? Buy low, right? Sell high. Any gambling today, right? I really like these comments, guys. You know, I'm not that kind of person. And don't play at 50% of range, right? So, so what does it mean? What does it mean for me? Right? Let's make it bigger, right? And we can make it here. Right. So what does it mean for me? It means for me that if I do not want to play in the middle of the range, it means that if I got the range in here, right? And this candle is defining the range for me. Maybe I can use this one, but I will use this one also, right? It means that I will not be playing in here, right? Also, I'm not gonna be buying this breakout. It's late for me. I want to trade a Salam alaikum, Sheikh Traders, my friend from Dubai, right? So, you go to my winner soon, I bought always, right? So, I would like to be buying low, right, on manipulation here, right? So what that means? That means that I would be looking for the lows of this range to be manipulated to some key level, right? And on the weekly, where we are right now, right, on the weekly, I got this fair value gap, right? You know fair value gaps, this gap in here is the gap for me, right? And I got this range in here, right? It would be perfect confluences for me if the price drops lower below this range, right? I get my setup in here, right? Which is in confluence with the higher time frame trend, right? Which is actually buying the low, right? In the manipulation, in the weekly level, right? And then going higher, right? That's where I would be happy to trade, right? Still can happen the thing that price will go lower in here, right? That's why I need to wait for the setup in here, right? That's why I need to wait setup. Why did it not come up to my mind sooner? I bought always. Yeah, my friend. I will tell you about this a little bit later, right? So that's what I'm looking for on the Bitcoin, right? I would be interested to trade higher in longs, but not here, right? Obviously, if I go lower time frame, what I could do, right? I could be selling. Yes, I could, right? Because if I'm expecting the price go lower in here, right? I could be selling. But again, right? Don't sell low, right? This is low for me. Where I would sell? Here, right? If I get some nice manipulation in here, right? And I get some nice range in here, then I would be interested to do that, right? But not at this moment, right? So I don't see a trade right now on the Bitcoin for me, right? Anything interesting is not happening here, right? So waiting below here, right? So bullish for me, but I would be interested to trade lower here around 100K from this fair value gap, right? So what is this information for me, right? It's giving me information that most likely we will see drop lower, right? Maybe it can make first the move higher, right? But I think we're going lower down here, right? What's my confirmation, right? Let me show you something. If you know the USDT dominance, right? It's kind of, for me, like a mirror of the Bitcoin, right? Like an opposite. It gives me a kind of confidence, right? Because look in here, we had these highs in here, taking these highs, right? Price reversed and started to drop lower, right? Per my setups, we will most likely see these lows taken. So what does it mean? It means that on the Bitcoin, right, we will see the new highs, right? But let me delete all of this in here. But what I think that's gonna happen in here is that we will get a pullback because we already traded down into the discount in here, right? What is beautiful in here that the price is leaving these two relatively equal lows, right? That is these two relatively equal lows, and then I'm seeing the potential of the pullback, right? What is like your bias to confirm this? You mean this about this dominance, right? What is my bias to confirm this thing, right? Yes. All right. So look, we got in here, I got this smaller range, right? In here. Also, the price reached this liquidity in here. And in here, what has happened is that price basically created quite big CLS candle, right? Here, it manipulated and it closed above, right? So it created the order block. Right now, the price will be looking for what? For a liquidity, right? Or for another order block. What is liquidity in here? Here is actually a fair value gap, right? This one, right? So the gaps are liquidity, right? So most likely the price could come into this 50%, and if it's gonna be in here, I would not be surprised if we reach at least here or maybe above these highs, right? And then continue lower, right? So I do think that we're gonna get some kind of these potential pullbacks in here, right? Which is kind of confirming what is a little bit happening on the Bitcoin, right? Because if you look at this chart and if you invert it, watch this, right? It looks almost like a Bitcoin, right? We had this low, price went higher, and now it's doing this pullback, right? So once here, right, it is some kind of like that 100K on the Bitcoin, right? If we go to the Bitcoin, look, now we are inverted on the Bitcoin, right? But that 100K would be here. Let me invert it back, right? Here and then higher, right? Here and then higher, right? So I do think that it's a time for this healthy pullback before we going lower, right? So as said, on the Bitcoin, I cannot do anything, right? It's late for selling here, not fitting to my strategy, and it's early to buy. But if I speculate that the Bitcoin will go lower, it will most likely take some other pairs down, right? Especially those who are overextended, right? Which is and giving me the setup, which is Ethereum, right? Which is also the AAVE, the trade I have also, right? And that's it for now, right? That's only two trades which I'm currently holding, and I will break them down for you right now, right? So let me check the questions. Winners of the 10K will be randomly selected in the 10 minutes. More engagement, bigger chances for winning. Good luck, traders, says the Thomas from the Hero, my friends. So more engagement, let's go. Now, you are welcome, my friend. Now let me show you here on the Ethereum, right? What I'm watching in here. Good luck, everyone. Right? I'm still looking for the same thing, right? I'm trading these ranges, these CLS ranges, right? So I got the range in here, right, which was manipulated, price closed inside, created the order block in here, right? So which is a change of the order flow and price going then higher, right? It's the same thing which we have seen in here, right? Only a little bit different time frame, right? We have the range, manipulation, and price going higher, right? That's the same thing what has happened in here, right? Good strategy, wait for connection at drop. Short-term bearish then. Yes, yeah, short-term bearish in my opinion, right? So right now we are here on the east, and where we actually have reached the 50%. Let me clear these things here. You know what? Because I don't want to destroy my drawings, I will make a copy where I can actually play with these drawings and do not have to do that next time again, redraw it, right? So let me clear all of these things in here. I will explain you what I'm seeing in here, right? VIF, yes, right? So my theory currently is now how I'm looking for the trades, right? So Bitcoin lower, right? USDT higher, right? And I'm looking for the pairs which are for me giving this, right? Sell high, right? Which is not here on the Bitcoin, right? But if I look into the others, right, which is for me currently the Ethereum, which is quite high, right? And which is also the AAVE quite high. If they are lower down here, they would not be interested, right? So let's go break down this, right? So here is this Ethereum, right? We have this range, we had this run up, right? And we are now a little bit stopping around this 50%, right? If we go through weekly, there was on the weekly created this range, right? Let me show you. Right, we have this range in here, this one, right? Quite nice range, this big candle, right? Big candle created by the market makers, right? Now what start to happen in here, right? One candle manipulated, closed inside, right? Another candle manipulated, closed inside, another one, right? So what's happening in here, right? Taking out the liquidity, right? Everything is closing inside. So where is actually the liquidity once the candles start to closing inside, right? Here, right? Here will be liquidity. Why? Because what has happened in here? The breakout traders has entered. They've been expecting price going higher, right? Now if this Bitcoin make this pullback, we have the chance that this is gonna happen, right? Let me take you to the lower time frame. So we have this range in here, and also we can draw a range on the daily. Let me show you. Right, sorry, there is actually another week. This one, it was from the week clips, sorry. And I have this weekly range in here, right? There's a potential another target, right? So this range, we had the inside candle and another manipulation candle, right? Now let me take from the weekly, I'm going to the 4 hours. Right, we are here on the 4 hours, right? So this two equal highs in here, they've been manipulated in here, right? And then price created again that our order block, right? Change in order flow. That's what we're looking on that range, right? Look, this last up candle before that closed down, right? That's the order block. That's where we want to trade from, right? If you didn't catch the trade in here, right, you can wait for the pullback. I actually had the trade in here, and I think I've been sharing it in here. Let me check, because someone was in this trade with me, right? It was here, right? So we had this equal highs, we had this manipulation, and then price traded lower, right? There was important to take a partial profit on the 520, right? Someone was, I think, asking about that in here. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste the time with that or trying to prove something or what. And so we go back, right? So the first entry here, and then we're looking for the re-entry, which is actually the model number 2, right? So I'm doing the simple thing, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place a fib from here, right? From highs to these lows, right? And model 2 is 61.82, right? Here is, let's put the levels instead of the prices, right? 61.8, right? And the order block, perfect confluence, right? And this is where should be a entry in here, right? Stop loss easily here, right? Slightly above, right? And you can be targeting the whole range row, right? And it's giving simple 2.3 risk reward, right? Quite easy trade, right? You don't have to be worrying about some something like that, right? Obviously this can work, right? But I personally am not doing this. I do not want to be nervous. I do not want to be watching it, right? I know that my stop loss is safe in here, right? Why? Because those traders who entered the breakout in here, right, in this candle, right, when it was looking really bullish, and they saw the trend line and breaking, right, they entered in here, right? Now if the price comes back in here, right, where it would take my stop loss, it will give them the chance to exit, right? But it will not happen. Most likely it will not give them the chance to exit, because if they entered in here, right, where these traders put stop loss, somewhere they did here, right, they are out. But more traders will have stop loss even where lower, right? And look what is happening in here. If you put the line in here, right, you will see what is this. Tell me, what is this, guys? Who will answer? These two levels, relatively same. What is there? What is there? Double bottom, exactly, right? Double bottom, right? Now, what equals exactly, right? So now what's happening, right? These traders are in, right? They entered here. They entered because they had the trend line and they have seen this breakout, right? Now, what has happened in here? They created double bottom, right? And maybe some traders also, maybe they draw some trend line in here, right? Trend line breakout, right? And they entering again, another traders entering here, right? Expecting price to go higher, right? And they have stop losses below here because it's a double bottom. The price will not go there anymore. But exactly, yeah, double low liquidity sweep, exactly that kind of things, right? So that's where the price will come most likely, right? Because what has happened in here, right? You see, same, right? Same thing. Oh, look, we got winners. Jerry, Gilo, and Nes483, right? I think Thomas will post it in the Discord, right? So thank you for the engagement, my friends. Right? Hope it makes sense, right? That's why I'm comfortable right now in this trade, right? Because those who entered in here, they will not get a chance exit if they're still in the trade, right? Right now, more traders has entered, and the stop loss cluster, which is down in here, the liquidity is now even bigger, right? So we can expect that sharp move down, right? And it's all in the confluences with what we have seen on the Bitcoin and the USDT, right? So if we expecting the price on the Bitcoin drop lower, right? And we do not want to short Bitcoin because Bitcoin is kind of having similar range, but it's in here. But the Ethereum will most likely follow a little bit, right? Because it has a lower market cap and we have a chance for bigger volatility in here, right? So that's why I think the price will come down here, right? So obviously in here, I will have to take some, I don't have this tool, new tool, but I'm still not comfortable with using this drawing thing, right? So in here will have to be some partial profit taken, right? And most likely we will reach this, right? Overall, yes, overall, we could reach even this 50% right in here, but you know, I'm not greedy, right? I do not want to do these trades, right? Like looking for some home runs, right? To short it, right? Strategy says, right? 50% first trade, right? Which was from here, right? After the manipulation, right after this close in here, right? And now looking for that. We are now market makers. No, guys, we are not. Even if you trade ICT, smart money, whatever you trade, we are not market makers. Maybe later. Right, so this is what makes sense to me to be short on the Ethereum, right? Now let's look to the AAVE, right? Very similar thing has happened in here, right? Let me show you on the bigger time frame, right? Again, the price action created this range. I think it's 3 months range. No, it was monthly range, right? Or 3 months, or was it even 6 months? No, 3 months, sorry. You see, this is what's happening when you don't have the annotations on your charts, right? So we had this big range in here, right? Not yet, exactly, but soon. We have this big range, we have the inside candle, right? And then manipulation, and we starting move higher, right? Now we go lower time frame, right? And as you can see, as we have this big range, and we have this midpoint of it, let me put some color so we see it clearly, right? Now we are exactly in this range, in the midpoint of this range. This is where mostly the pullback is coming. This is where you're getting pullback, right? So that's therefore it's another indices for me that I can get pullback in here, right? On this 3 months range, right? Let me remove this again now, right? So we can get pullback in here. All right, that's on the monthly. Let's go lower time frame. Do I get some setup? Do I get something what I know? All right, let's look. Yo Dave, how is it going? How my friend? Yeah, everything's going fine. Everything's going fine. Just doing the stuff. Decoding the markets, right? So we are here, and look what was here again, right? You see this high and this high, like equal highs, right? Then we have this manipulation, right? Also, we had here this weekly range, right? So we had the range which has been created like a part of these two equal highs, right? Here is the low, and here is again the 50%, right? After the manipulation, we could be looking for the model number 1 and targeting 50%, right? It already played. I missed this trade. Okay, we will look, right? I will explain these two, and then we will look what you want to. Then after this, you're looking for a 61.8 pullback, and you can be targeting this whole range, right? So that's the system. That's my strategy, right? Right now, let's go to break it lower time frame, right? If this is happening on the weekly, I am looking at the market structure on the 4 hours. That's the rule. That's how the scaling makes sense for me, right? So we have this weekly range in here, right? You see this purple one, right? Here we have this up candle which been running above these two equal highs, right? Manipulated, took out the sellers, those who try to sell maybe later, and also attracted buyers, right? So buyers are right now trapped. Then the price reversed, created order block, right? We have this up candle, right? We have this up candle and then candle closing below. That's the moment where you're getting a order block, and that's when you are entering the first model short, right? In here, and to targeting 50%, right? I didn't have this trade. I didn't catch it, right? But then I know that my another chance is coming after the pullback. Once we reach the 50% in here, you can see, again, I'm going to highlight it a little bit more, right? In here, right? We're getting a pullback, right? You see how it's always repeating. We're getting a pullback in here, right? That's the same confluence which I have here on the higher time frame, that we are actually on the 50%, right? So price is actually the fractal. It's happening on the all time frames, right? So let's go back to this 4 hours in here, right? We get that pullback in here, and then I'm measuring the Fib from this high to this low, right? I measure the Fib, and then I get these two levels, right? 61 point, okay, I have it double 2 times here, so I can delete this one, right? And between 61.8 and 0.8 Fib, I'm looking for a level, right? So as you can see, we have came here all the way back into this level, right? And that's where you actually shorting, and you can actually be again scaling the same thing in here, right? Because look, again, you got big candle right in here, manipulated, price closed inside. If you're looking at this on the 4 hours, then your entry will be on M15, right? And then you could do that again, smaller and smaller time frame, but M15, I'm not trading that, right? Looking 4 hours in here, right? So therefore, in here, I'm seeing a chance that this AAVE trade, right, has a potential to drop lower as a swing position, right? And again, I could be targeting this low or even into 50%. I think it has a chance to dump down. But what I'm going to do, I have my target somewhere around here. Why? Because this down candle has took these lows, right? So it could be counted as a order block. So I will measure all this. Now I have right tool, all this, and in the midpoint of it, right, which is in here, it's where I want to exit, right? Because if this is going to be happening and maybe going even lower, I already know by journaling all of these things and seeing these patterns that once we played model number 1 in here, then we get this pullback 61.88, a price starting dropping lower, and this down candle, sharp one that took this low, right, that will have some reaction. And what can happen is something like this, right, and then maybe reaching this low. And I do not want to be in the market when this is happening, because it's a fucking frustrating, right? All right, so right now we will check the coins which you want to, right, which you wrote me. So let me scroll a little bit in this chat and I will find what you want to be. Okay, so we have Link, we have Neo. Okay, Link is one which I have analysis in here actually, and I'm looking to trade. So we will check the Link right now. Then we go next one. So this is the Link, right? Always applying the same approach, right, on the high time frame, right? Again, I'm repeating, I'm swing trader, right? I'm not intraday scalper, right? So here we have this candle, right? This 3 months candle, which was manipulated in here, and now this next candle started to right now this next candle will most likely close inside, right? So that would be bullish. It has almost reached the 50%, but it doesn't matter. What I will do in here, what I will be looking for is for the 61.8 entry, right? So there was kind of like this model number 1 playing, but didn't finish. What actually we can see in here, right? Again, look, like what? Relatively equal highs in here, right? So again, what's happening? Many traders see this trend line break, right? And they see this double top, right? So where we will be looking for the trade? We will be looking for this. We have this range, right? And in this case, this model number 1, which I have showed you before, when the price changed this order flow in here, right, created the order block, it didn't reach the 50%. It doesn't matter. It's even actually better, right? Because why? It means that this is actually bigger consolidation, and then the move can be much sharper and the whole range can be reached without any proper pullbacks, right? Without any proper without any proper pullbacks, right? So I'm bullish on this one, but still I think as the Bitcoin will go lower, we need to see a little bit more drop down, right? Let me show you where I think we will drop and where will be my point of interest, where I will start to look for the setup. How will look my setup? Same like this, only happening on the lower time frame here, right? I'm using still same approach to everything, right? So let me show you. Now we need to understand a little bit market context, right? And this is very important, what everyone should know, and you should think about it if you have your strategy. If your strategy consists the market context and the entry setup, because it's two different things, right? I know a lot of the people who comes to me to become my students, they come, they tell me I got strategy, but no, they have just a entry setup. You can have entry setup, but you need to have also the market context, right? And market context means that your entry setup would be placed in some right market context, right? So for example, if I'm trading whatever, I can be trading whatever, but look, the pin bar can work here, pin bar can work here, right? But pin bar will not work here, and it will not work here, right? But it will work here, right? But again, maybe will not work here. And these setups are printed in here. But by adding the market context, you will filter out this, and you will trade just these best ones, right? How to do that? What does it mean? It means that you will have less trades, right? But that's what is the trading about, right? That you don't want to be trading and adding the trades like using the machine gun, right? You want to be sniper, right? So with my market context right now, my setup is not here, and I will show you right now why, right? So my market context giving me this higher time frame analysis, right? This range, right? And where I will be interested to trade, as I think this is a consolidation, then I would be interested to trade in this, right? In 61.8 and also in the discount, right? So what does it mean? We have this swing up, right? And I basically place a FIP, right? Simple FIP, right? And 50% divider, right? Which you can see this green part and this dark part, right? So I want to see the liquidity grab, right? Which will be here below this candle. For me, I call this candle a transition candle, right? Why? Because for me, it's a candle that has taken us, you can see here, it's a candle which taken us from the discount to the premium. And mostly when price start to do a pullback, it goes for the liquidity below this candle, right? So in here, what I will want to see, I will want to see basically again my same thing, right? I will want to see a big candle, right? Which will create the range again, right? So I will simply draw a range in here, right? It maybe will be weekly candle, maybe some daily. And then after I get a manipulation, right, and change in order flow, right, the order block, something like this created in here, like a manipulation, right, candle close above, then I will be looking for an entry, right, and that can be done on the smaller time frame, right? But I will not hold only to the upside of this range. This time I'm preparing to buy some proper spot positions also and hold it longer, because I think some quite big thing is coming, right? But we will see first this range, right? And you can see in here again what the market makers are again preparing, right? This beautiful trap, right? It's not obvious, but again you see almost relative to equal highs, right? So what lows, sorry. So what they will give us in here, maybe some false break, right? when we get false break in here, it would be definitely a nice chance to sell it if you short-term trader, right? So on the link, I'm definitely bullish, but I need to wait the price to drop lower for me, right? So what was the next? Hi, for the entry, I would look for an entry of the lows. So we are still in accumulation. Previous week lows, good template trade, right? What account size do you have in the hero round? I got 200k. Is it just me or the markets are simply not? Yes, markets now. Yeah, I think it's a kind of like an accumulation, right? Obviously, if you short-term trader or if you short-term trader, you obviously have always the chances, right? But for me, I'm staying. I would look for entry at the lows. Yes. Okay. So 150k is a good psychological number. Normally. Any idea where we heading long term? Yes. Idea. What does the CLS stand for? Yeah, it's a continuous link settlement. I tracked AAVE after you dropped the idea. I realized to what time frames you prefer. I prefer weekly, daily ranges. These ranges which I'm drawing weekly, daily, right? And weekly, daily, monthly. And that's where I'm then trading on the lower time frame, right? So from the weekly, I'm trading 4 hours. From daily, 1 hour. From monthly, on the daily. That's where I'm looking these trades, right? So what was the next pairs? Link inch, right? So it's an inch coin. It's that, what is this? Is some gaming coin, right? This inch coin, isn't it? Inch. We will look to the inch coin. Inch. Let's check this one, right? Let's put it here. Inch coin. Right? So we will check the whole process in here, right? So same thing, right? I see this pump, so, and I see this range, right? So I always start to finding a range. Now in here, we can see this 3 months range, right? Low being manipulated, right? Did it go from the key level? Yes, we can count this down candle in here as a key level, right? Let's look on the monthly, how it will looks like, right? This definitely could be counted as an order block, right? So we can see, let's go to the weekly, right? And we can see we get the range, right? Simple range, right? We can see we had the manipulation of that range. We had the change in order flow. That means that we have closed above this last down candle, right? We didn't reach this 50%, right? Which is not a problem. We probably reacting from this, right? Order block, which has to be retested and giving us some kind of reaction in here, right? For the long-term trade, I would not do anything above this, right? So I would wait for price to drop down to here, right? To retest maybe this order block. In my opinion, if that pullback on the Bitcoin happens, that's what would we looking for, right? Now, when we are looking at this on the weekly, right? Again, you can see in here was actually these 2 weeks, how they closed before these two happens, right? They've been quite relatively equal, right? Then price manipulated, closed inside, bust. But when this happened, I will give you some tip. Right? When you see a manipulation, because imagine that you didn't see this candle, right? You've been here, and you have seen that you had this candle, this one manipulated, closed inside, bust, closed bullish, right? That means that another manipulation is coming, right? Just to remember that, or write it down. You will see this quite often on the charts, right? In here, I got this range now. That's what I'm seeing right now, right? We get this range, right? So these two lows was manipulated, closed inside, bullish, so another manipulation, right? Then when I'm on the weekly, I go to the 4 hours, right? Then here, on that 4 hours, after this candle, right, this candle is manipulated and the price closed below this candle. You need to see close below this one, right? Below this one. That's the order block. In that moment, in here, after this close, right, that's when you can start to look for a trade, right? So in here you would have a pullback entry, right, and setup. But also I'm quite comfortable to trade it simply like this into that 50% range. Right? There is a situation where I'm looking for a pullback. It would be if this candle that closed below this one, right, if it would close too much lower. But if it's quite like that and it has the fair value gap in here, then I'm comfortable to close here, right, and get this, right? And then I'm looking for 50%, right? That's where I would be out of the trade, right? Most likely, what could happen right now, I would be looking for a, again, you see, I'm still applying the same things, right? Once the 50% reached, then I'm looking for a Fibbo, right? And then I would be looking for a level to enter for the continuation lower. So my level would be between these two, right? So what would be the level? This up candle now, right? So in here, I could be looking for this, right? I don't like to enter blindly just like that with the sell limit. So what I'm mostly doing is that very close to that entry, a little bit below it, right, I'm going to set up alarm, right? And that's how I would frame this trade in here, right? Why I'm thinking we're going lower? Because on the higher time frame, we're most likely going to reach this, right? What can happen? It can go down without any pullback. That means that I'm not gonna get this trade, right? But also, if you remember, not selling the low, right? So do not want to trade here because this can still happen. I want to see a higher probabilities, right? You see here again the equal lows being created, right? These two equal lows, it's a good signal, but they need to see some setup, right? Some inducement, right? Something how those who trading these bottoms will be interested in to trade, and that may be happening here, right? We don't know if this is going to happen, but we're looking just for the probabilities, and this is how I filter them out, right? So that would be this one. Which one you prefer, swing or scalp? Yes, swing. Oh, they are moving, definitely. Don't see the chart. Did you have any losing trade this week? Albert, yes, lost all my money on slot machines. Guys, you get your questions are, yeah. Any gambling today? No. Guys, I have this short on the Ethereum and I have this short on the AAVE, right? This one, right? I have these two trades currently. Not seeing anything, you know, this is, trust me, if you see charts like this and you seeing it going lower, you really do not want to be trading here. What you gonna do here, right? What you gonna do? If you sell like this and hope that the price will go down lower like that, it can happen, right? But if you put stop loss like here, if your target is here, right, which is a kind of a order block where the price can bounce, you're not getting a good risk reward, right? You need to be looking where you're getting a good risk reward, right? So which is currently, as we've been looking here, this inch looks also good, right? I will put it up here for me. Also same was actually the Solana, right? Let me show you. We can see that the Solana is playing this big range, right? it has bounced from this key levels in here, right? Almost reached the 50%, but didn't reach it really clearly. We had this big range in here, right? One manipulation, but the candle was bullish. So what happened next? Another manipulation, right? After that, price started to drop lower and printed model number one. Let me show you, right? In here. So we had this candle, we had last up candle, right? That's where you're looking for the trade. You're targeting 50%. That's the model number one. After the 50% is reached, you're looking for what? You're looking for pullback, right? So what you're doing? You're simply measuring your fib from highs to the lows, which is right now in here, and there you're looking for your potential setup, right? And that's, if this happened, this is what gives me a probability which I want to trade, right? Wanna sell high of the range, not range low, right? So that's what I'm seeing also on the Solana. So there is a lot of setups waiting, right? But swing setups, not anything which I would enter right now. Also, someone was asking about Ethereum. Top G, crypto trader John will get stop out. Yeah, I could get a stop out, of course, my friend. That's a probability game. Someone was saying about ETH BTC, right? That Ethereum looks stronger. Of course it could look stronger, right? Let's try to analyze this one, right? Where we are right now. Let's go 3 months, right? Right, we can count this as a level. What do you have XRP? Swing is the thing. Right, okay, so I will do this one and then we'll look to the XRP, right? So we are on the 3 months. This is definitely a level, right? Could be also, this could be also the level because it relatively broke this high, right? But it's the same level, so that means that this level is probably a kind of a strong one, right? Let's go lower time frame to specify that level even more, right? Which would be really this midpoint of this, or this last build up candle, right? On the 3 months, right? Seeing the range, seeing the manipulation price closing inside, most likely we will reach this, right? So that means that Ethereum could be stronger, right? Let's go lower time frame, right? Let's go lower time frame on the weekly. You're seeing is that we just closing above these down candles, right? So we're closing just above these ones, and we're leaving quite big gap in here, right? Mostly if that happens, the gap could be retested, right? And also if we look in here, this is again quite big range, manipulated, price closed inside, right? And most likely we will get retest 50% of that range, right? And if I'll show you this, right? This in here, it's nicely with the low of this range, right? Because this low most likely will be also a supportive, right? Also, what quite often happens that if the price manipulates the range low, then this range low is being retested before it goes higher, right? So if you look at it this way, and this is Ethereum BTC, then it means that Ethereum BTC will most likely make a pullback before going higher. So which means that right now they both will be weaker against the USDT, right? But the Ethereum will be most likely weaker. So that's why it is better to short for me the Ethereum than the Bitcoin, right? Right? Yes, Ethereum is high. BTC as a pair is higher right now, which is signaling like a stronger, but you need to look from the perspective, right? That we are higher, we want to sell high, right? you want to sell high. So that's how I would look at this one, right? That's what I would think about the Ethereum BTC right now. But overall, it will definitely do something, right? Because if you're watching the ETFs inflows, the Ethereum has amazing inflows recently, and it will definitely do something, right? I'm personally, I'm Bitcoiner. I hate all of these shit coins, like the ideology and the things behind it, but I'm trader, right? I like to trade them because it's a speculation and it's moving nicely, right? I never look into the asset combination. It's something I should be doing more. Yeah, what coin has the cleanest price action from the both, right? The cleanest price action, I think that the larger the cap, it's a cleanest price action, right? So we will see. Ethereum, in my opinion, right now looks good. This inch coin also looks good, right? I mean, if we get this pullback, that could be nice short, right? The AAVE already did this, right? So look, we have the manipulation of the range, move to the 50%, pullback down, right? AAVE, manipulation of the range, 50% pullback down, right? Always looking at the same thing, right? Manipulation of the range, pullback, right? Down, right? Same things over and over. I'm still applying the same things to everything, right? Okay, let's check the XRP, right? Ultra shitcoin. No, sorry if someone is from the XRP army, right, guys? Anyway, I don't like it because this foundation, they paid the look, right? So this is something, when I come to any coin and I see something like that, it's already like, you know, kind of what I would trade here, right? What I would do. I don't know, this is probably not with the complete history. Let me try to bring some, I think Bitstamp is gonna have a longer, that's older. Yeah, they have it a little bit longer, right? Okay, so when I start on the monthly, right, and I see this, it's something what I already a little bit don't like, right? But if still I'm applying the concept, right, let's check this, right? We have this as a range, right? You already seen it. We had the manipulation. We also took some liquidity in here, right? We dipped above these highs, right? Rejected. Price closing inside, but it closed bullish, so price going higher. XRP Armelo. I want to leave my job to go full-time trading. I've been profitable for 2 months so far. Yeah, my friend. If you are profitable 2 months, that's good. Congratulations. It's a good start, but it means nothing, right? You need to be profitable at least 6 years, because of course not to leave the job, right? But to be sure that it's working for you, because 2 months you've been trading. Look, 2 months. If I hide everything in here, it's this, right? So if you've been just longing Bitcoin, of course you've been profitable, right? But if you on the longer period, when it went up, down, right? That's where you really test your strategies. You need a longer period. I've been doing similar things, and I actually also left the job earlier, and then I was looking for the job again. Okay, let me finish this one. Right, so we have this, we have the range, we have the manipulation in here, right? Let's check on the lower time frames, right? On the lower time frame, if I check this candle as an up candle, and then I want to see the close below this down candle, right? It didn't happen yet to confirm me that this is order block on this monthly time frame, but I need to go lower time frame, weekly. Look, on the weekly we have this up candle, and then we have close below in here, right? So in this moment we have this candle confirmed as a order block, right? Then the price could go lower, right? We have this on the weekly, right? Now we need to find some setups on the lower time frame, right? And I already probably see something, but it's already kind of playing, right? You see this range in here. Okay, let me wait a second, right? Here we have the manipulation, right? We reached 50%, then we measuring again FIP, right? From high to lows, right? And from my market context, how I'm doing it, I want to look for the short in here, right? But it's on the weekly, and I do not think that the price will reach these levels, right? Most likely, because this is actually 3 months range, right? Sorry. So we have the force down from this order block, right? And on the weekly, what we have seen here, again, we have seen the range, right? What we got in here, 2 equal lows, right? That's where the price will most likely go, right? And becoming where we took the liquidity in here by this manipulation of this range, right? Price closed inside. We have reached 50%. We went lower, but what we could see also probably, what I would look here for is, let me drop it lower time frame, which is 4 hours right now for me, right? And I think these two lows are in the danger right now, yeah? But again, I will not enter in here, right? I see that the range was manipulated in here. Wait a second, how did it play in here? Was manipulated. Okay, so there was actually already this model number 2, right? So we had the model number 1 reached. No, it wasn't actually. So if I get this, right, to pull back up here, in here, I would be shorting that that level, right? If this happened, but anyway, it's not giving a good setup, right? You would need to look on the lower time frame, so for the manipulation maybe in here, so you don't need to put your stop loss all the way up, right? But if that makes some break up before these two lows are taken, then it's nice. Then it's nice setup in my opinion, because you will get some kind of this false trend line break, right? And you will have traders entering longs in here, creating bigger cluster in here, right? And then this would be beautiful, right? Okay, my friends, so I would close it in here. Profitable for 2 months. I would close it in here, right? As said, I'm in the Ethereum right now. I'm in the AAVE, right? We checked few coins, right? Where is the setups, right? Solana, if we get a pullback, right? If we get a pullback, sorry, I'm gonna lock this, right? If we get a pullback on the Solana, there is a setup, right? SUI, right? You know, the same things, right? Applying always the same thing, right? We didn't do the SUI, right? Link, looking for the price to drop lower, right? Because also from this perspective we can see, look, right? We can see the range has played in here, manipulated around this, going lower, but leaving here, right? Higher time frame range, giving this opportunity, right? In my opinion, big longs are coming soon, right? For the swing traders, this would be amazing, right? HBAR, same thing, right? Same thing over and over. I'm still trying to do same thing. I'll give you one advice. If you looking to your charts and you doing some kind of analysis, and in one setup you draw head and shoulders, another setups you draw cup and handle, right? And still trying to apply different concepts, you will get problems. You will not be consistent. You should be looking all to the charts with the all the time same approach, right? So again, you see here, HBAR, I'm fucking talking too long. I can talk about this for as long as needed, right? Look what we got here. We got the range, we got the manipulation. This has happened, right? We have reached the 50% in here, right? Then we starting to do the pullback, right? Once we reach this 61.8, it's gonna be a long for me, right? That's all right. Essentially all concepts. It helps with reading the charts. Yes, my friends. Right? So that's it. That's how I would probably close it here for today. Next week, unfortunately, I cannot do the stream because I'm going for holidays with my daughter. We will be riding the water slides for the whole week and shooting with the water guns each other's and having some fun and trip. But anyway, I'm watching the charts and I will be ready to play, right? That's perfect on the swing trading, in my opinion. Because you can live your life, you can have just the setups, you know, you doing the trades, and it's all working perfectly, right? All right, my friends, so let's close it here. It's 6 o'clock here in the Central Europe, and I will wish you happy trading, my friends. All right.